Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. We are 20 days away from NFL season, otherwise known as Ed Reed days away. Somebody put on Duran Cherry, old school right there. Put your favorite number 20 in the chat. We've got a great show for you today, but let's take a look at how we did yesterday. I believe it was a slightly losing day, so it's 3-3 on here. I actually had another loss. We're going to have to update this at another time. So I lost the preseason play, but don't forget my play on Wednesday ended up losing. Eric Cole lost by 2 strokes to Patrick Rogers. So I go 0 for 2. Sniper, as usual, picking us up, and our SportsLine pick came in very easily. So it was a 3-4 day overall. We've had plenty of winning days. This is not one of them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to pick it up. We got Moshi in the chat. We got Will, Wes Roberts, J-Rock, Japan. Hopefully everybody has hit the like button. Get ready. Buckle up because it's Big Pick Energy Friday. Oh, here we go.
Woo!
Sniper and Buckets. I'll get to you in a second. Danny Brasco, I'll get to you in your shadow boxing. But we got to start, for those of you that didn't have your morning coffee, your single, your double, your triple espresso, your latte, it's time for your Chip Me Up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Sniper. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Nada. Good morning, Early Edge fam. Or should I say familia? Because questo fine settimana inizia la Serie A. And while we'll be watching Fiorentina get their campaign started against Parma, you can watch all of the Lovers League on Paramount Plus. But for today, we are keeping it on the links. FedEx St. Jude winners were just like last Friday with Billy Ho. It is big dogs only. Looking to get you a winner here in round 2.
Oh my gosh.
Billy Ho, the white man can't jump reference.
Everything was great there. I'm going to have to listen back for all of the good stuff. What are we? So for 20 days away from NFL season, we must be, 8 days away?
Lamar Jackson days away from the start of the college football season.
Imagine what Chip is like when college football season is actually started versus where he is right now. Danny Brasco, you're here on a Friday, which I love. I'm disappointed to learn that you have picks for UFC 305, but that UFC 305 isn't in the 305. Just tell us real quick, where is it? And you got picks for it today, right?
We're going down under Perth, Australia. It's going to be an awesome card. A lot of Australian fighters featured there. By the way, Chip, that was absolutely electric. I don't know how I can follow that, but I'm fired up for Big Pick Energy now, and I'm fired up for this UFC 305 card, headlined by Israel Adesanya. Any Izzy fight week is an electric fight week, so let's get into it, guys.
All right, so we got Jack saying Chip with that extra coffee. Sniper, you've got some extra cash in your pocket. So before we get into our picks, and we got a lot of them, folks, you won back-to-back. I mean, this isn't a surprise to anybody, except for maybe me, because I've lost 2 in a row to Buckets somehow. But you've got another showdown win under your belt, correct?
Yeah, I was going to say, and no offense to you, Sia, personally, because you know you're my boy. But yes, it's not that difficult to beat Buckets in a baseball showdown. However, yes, feeling very good because it is Mark Carrier days away from the start of the NFL season, or Thomas Jones, if you will, Bears fans.
Wow, Mark Carrier, I believe that's late 80s, is it not? And then, of course,
probably more early 90s.
Early 90s, okay. And Thomas Jones, a forgotten running back. Buckets, anything to say about your second loss in a row showdown, or a number 20 that you want to throw out there? Maybe even you have a home run prop. I have no idea.
So, yeah, I like to keep things fresh. I'm going to ignore the showdown loss. I'm going to ignore the number 20, and I'm going to do something special for Chip. I'm going to, before we even get to our plays, give out a bonus Fiorentina play because, as he mentioned, they're playing Parma tomorrow afternoon. Parma's first time back to Serie A, the top flight since the 2020 season. And Sia, I think your boys, or not Sia, let me try that again. Chip, I think your boys are going to start with the win here. I'm going to give out right now Fiorentina over 1.5 team total is currently priced at plus 125. That is a crazy line. Parma is a good side. They did a good bit of business in the summer transfer window, but Fiorentina is going to put them in their place. I think that's an outrageous line for a Fiorentina side that I think is going to have a pretty good season here, Sia.
Forza Viola! We got a new tutor. The roster is a mess, but we will be victorious.
The roster is a mess. That's a good shout from Chip as well.
Yes. Okay. So let's Buckets. I want to get into your picks. I want to give Lydia a shout out. She says, just tail Sniper and have a profitable day. I mean, it's true, Sniper. You've just, I mean, since the, I want to say since the All-Star break, it's probably been all season, but I feel like the last 3 or 4 weeks that you've been on with us, it's just constantly 2-0, sometimes 1-1, but you've absolutely been crushing it. So we're waiting. I know you have 2 baseball plays. I know everybody's anxiously awaiting. I got to tell you, there's some questions in the chat for you as well that are MLB related. We can get to that later. We got a full host of picks. Bucket, start us off with some soccer.
I'm going to start us off with 2 soccer plays here. And finally, guys, I know it's been an extremely long couple months. We are welcoming back the English Premier League. We're also welcoming back Serie A, La Liga. We've got Bundesliga in a couple weeks. Things finally feel right again. So I do have an EPL play for us. However, we're going to start in the Turkish Super League in a matchup between Konyaspor and Galatasaray. Galatasaray, who were the giants of the Turkish Super League last year and who maintained the majority of the roster, were expected to start off hot once again this year. And they are not. They are barely scraping by in their first couple games. However, this is a team with the depth, with the experience, with the knowledge, with the wisdom, with the power, with the everything to get things back on track. And if they're going to do that, their boy Mauro Icardi has to show up. He led the league in goals last year. He needs to do it again this year, and I'm expecting him to finally get that first big goal of the season. I'm taking Mauro Icardi anytime goal score at +110 because as soon as he scores his first goal, that line is -150 the rest of the season. So we want to jump on the plus odds while we can. Then for my second play, let's do it, baby. English Premier League is back. In honor of the Prem being back, I'm going to give this full take in English. Shouldn't be too hard here. Manchester United taking on Fulham, Old Trafford, seeing the opening season match. And if you are a fan of trends, then you love this match because you love goals. In the last 6 seasons, there have been 25 goals in the opening match of EPL returning. We are averaging almost 4 goals per game over the last 6 years here. And these are 2 teams that will be desperate to start with goals, will be desperate to get points, but 2 teams, most importantly, do not play defense ever. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals in this first game is -130. It's a little bit of juice, but considering I have Manchester United winning this game 3-2, maybe 3-1, I have no problem playing that all day long. Sia.
All right. Love the picks. Love the energy. I have a good feeling we can keep the energy up with some UFC 305. So Danny Brasco, I just want to get right to it. I got to catch up on the chat as well. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Helps the show out quite a bit. All right, Danny. I want to see some shadow boxing. I want to see some picks. What you got for UFC 305?
Let's flow right in. Let's keep the movement smooth, and let's cash some UFC 305 bets, guys. I'm going a little chalkier today for these picks. Normally, I bring plus money, I bring dogs, but hey, I own my record, win, lose, or draw, and last week didn't go so great, so I want to go a little safer side. I'm going to bring you guys 2 bets here that I really like on this card. First off, let's start on the prelims. It's Josh Kulibau at -142. And I like the matchup for him. It's certainly not an easy one against Ricardo Ramos, a very skilled, explosive striker who likes to throw spinning attacks. And he's skilled on the ground, too, with a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. But Kulibau has cut his teeth in the UFC against some tough competition. And he's gone 3-3-1, which won't inspire too much. But those 3 losses were against some tough opponents. And he's fought to 3 split decisions, including a draw. I mean, the guy has been in really close fights. I think he's matured in the UFC. I think he's got the grappling skills, the striking, and the poise to handle Ramos wherever it goes. Ramos has disappointed in his last 2 fights. He got guillotine choked in back-to-back fights. And the fight prior to that, he was a huge betting favorite, and he missed weight by 6 pounds. I just can't trust this guy at this point. I like the cut of Josh Kulibau. I'm going to go with him as a little favorite here. And then I'm going to put together a little 2-piece parlay for you guys. The first fight of the night, the curtain jerker, as they call it, Stuart Nickel. I keep calling this guy Stuart Little accidentally. He's taking on Jesus Aguilar, and I think a lot of people are going to bet Aguilar as an underdog. He's got 2 UFC wins, including a highlight knockout victory. But don't take the bait, folks. This kid, Stuart Nickel, is a grinder. He's a relentless wrestler, and I believe Aguilar can get wrestled. I think he's going to spend a lot of his time defending the clinch and the grappling advances of Nickel. I'm going to parlay him together with Carlos Prates, the Nightmare. This guy is a prospect that you have to watch out for. And after he beats Li Jingliang, I think he will have a number next to his name in the rankings. This guy, Prates, is one of the best prospects out of the Fighting Nerds gym, the hottest gym right now in MMA. His striking at range is lethal. His straight punches, his knees, his elbows, his front kicks. He's very tough to close in on. When you take that chance to close in on, you better have set it up properly. And if you don't, you're getting cracked. I think Prates is live for a knockout here, and I think he cashes us this parlay at -118. Guys, if you want my picks on the main card for UFC 305, tap into CBS Sports Network early edge at 1 p.m., baby. Brutal tease, but you'll have to see me there for the main card.
Oh, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, Danny, we're going to see you on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock. I'll be on there as well. Katie Mox will be hosting. We've got it all covered. We're going to be covering a lot of NFL storylines that affect the betting lines, but of course, MLB, some home run props, UFC, model picks from Mackenzie Brooks and the SportsLine model, the parlay of the day. It's going to be a great show, so you're going to want to join us at 1 o'clock. By the way, if you want to take Danny's picks that he just gave out, or the ones he's going to give out at 1 o'clock, you can go to BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, E-D-G-E. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And Cinna, you say, what about the WNBA? That's going to be, I believe, on the 1 o'clock show as well. I think you can find some of those picks at sportsline.com. Don't forget sportsline.com/join. Type in the promo code winners. You get 60% off the annual plan. All right, we got to get to an ad break, folks. We're going to get a message from our partners right now. We're back on the Early Edge, presented by BetMGM, the birthplace of the Vegas sportsbook. All right, Sniper, let me ask you this. You got a bat in your hand. It's reminding me a little of Daniel Alistair Caffey from A Few Good Men. Do you always have to have a bat? Okay, is that why you have that in your hand? Because you're about to give out 2 more winners.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start in Philadelphia. The Phillies seem to have gotten their mojo back after they had a really bad stretch wrapped around the All-Star break. They were cold going into the All-Star break. They were really, really cold after the All-Star break. But 9 runs on Wednesday, 13 runs on 17 hits last night. And wouldn't you know it, it's Patrick Corbin Day on Friday. Patrick Corbin actually has not been as bad as advertised in DC, but on the road, 6.68 ERA this season. Citizens Bank Park, home of the Phillies, is a house of horrors for Patrick Corbin. 6.50 career ERA in that yard. Even when he was good, he got knocked around there. He's not good anymore. The Phillies are good. This is a very good spot. Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies. He's been inconsistent this year, but he's better at home, and he has a 1.42 ERA in his 2 starts against the Nats, who have a lackluster offense. I absolutely love the Phillies here, so I'm going on the run line. Somebody in the chat posted, would I go to 2.5 on the run line at plus money? Yes, I would probably do that. So that's a good play there. Also going to go down to Houston and talk about another good team facing a bad team, a little more extreme on the bad team side here. The Astros on the run line are actually plus 120 on one of the books that I found. I think that I know why. If you look at the pitching matchup, Garrett Crochet versus Spencer Arrighetti, people see the name recognition of Garrett Crochet. Oh, this is a good spot for the White Sox to win. But if you look a little deeper, Crochet has hit a wall. He's completely out of gas. His professional career high in innings pitched, that's including the minors, looping in times that he was in both the minors and the majors, is 54 1/3 innings, or it was before this season, because right now he's at 120 2/3. His last 4 starts, he's only worked 13 1/3 innings, and he has an 8.78 ERA. He is not the first half Garrett Crochet. And Arrighetti has a 3.25 ERA in his last 6. He struck out 12 2 outings ago. He struck out 13 last outing. He is completely on a roll. Crochet has been bad lately. The Astros have won 8 in a row, and they got a rest yesterday, and they're at home now. The White Sox are the White Sox, and one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in baseball history. They're 11-49 on the road, so we're playing the Astros on the run line here. Somebody in the chat asked about the Paul Skeens strikeouts. The first thing I do every day is look at the Mariners and what starting pitcher they're playing, because they have the highest strikeout rate in baseball by a mile. And of course, Paul Skeens strikes out a lot of guys, but I'm getting worried about his workload and how deep the Pirates are going to let him go in games. And 8.5 is a big, big number. I would be, if you told me you have to pick a side, I would say over, but I was reluctant on this because I just think they're going to start tamping down on his workload.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, Are those supposed to be white socks? Because they're not. Buckets, do you have something to say?
They're the
Bleach.
they're the closest thing I have. They're like cream colored. I was digging through my closet trying to find a white sock, but yes, I have something to say. Sniper, I know that I'm 0-2 against you, but you forget that I am actually the White Sox whisperer. I was the one that ended their 21-game loss streak. I did it by myself with no help from anyone else, and I am determined to get back to my winning ways in a showdown, Sniper. So if you will be so gracious as to have me, I would love to call you on a showdown for this one. Give me the White Sox plus 1.5.
Nada is so familiar with this show that he knew that Sniper didn't need to say a single word.
Well,
Sniper, you
Nada, real quick, Nada saved me because I was about to say, hell, just give me the money line. I don't need the runs. So thank you, Nada. I'll take the 1.5.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You're going to lose anyway. Anybody who would say a 21-game loss streak instead of 21-game losing streak is going to get cooked anyway.
Oh, this is great.
I respect Buckets for claiming the White Sox. Like, no, the White Sox don't want to claim the White Sox.
Yeah.
Those are my boys. That's my team. Chicago.
I know Chicago residents that have sold all of their White Sox fandom. I mean, they're picking up the Giants. They're picking up anybody else from the NL. They can't even stand it anymore.
Cornelli.
Yeah, I'm not gonna air his dirty laundry out here. We got dirty laundry here at Bucket's house. Come on, get yourself some bleach.
I love that the color, you just tried to create a new color from dirt. Like that was dirt color, just so you know. Buckets, real quick, before we get to a couple of golf picks, and then Sniper, I do have a question for you about a first 5 under that I'm leaning towards in the Braves-Angels game. I'll get to that before we get to the recap screen. It's 4.5, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Buckets, real quick, 30-second update on volleyball Buckets.
30-second update on volleyball Buckets. I have a coach now who knows what he's doing because I do not, so that's going well. But I know what people care about more than the volleyball, Sia, is the mice update. The mice are officially gone. I have won the 3-week war, whatever it was. Mice are gone. Volleyball's going good. It's the weekend. Nothing but good vibes here today, man.
Nothing good but good vibes. All right, I got to bounce back. Speaking of good vibes, I had Eric Cole over Patrick Rogers yesterday. Eric Cole had a couple of pretty bad holes, ended up losing by 2. I'm going right back to the head-to-head matchup for round 2. This is this afternoon. Wind will be up a little bit, I think, in this one. It doesn't really affect my play. I like Johnny Vegas. You know, we just cashed on him. What was it? The live play we had on him at 60-1, I believe. Johnny Vegas minus 130 over Nick Dunlap. Both of these guys have won on tour this year. Both are pretty good, but Nick Dunlap, this is not the course for him. Anytime it's important to hit fairways, which it is here, you don't necessarily want Nick Dunlap, and that was illustrated yesterday. He hit 5 of 14 fairways. He was way off, but his score wasn't super big, and that's what's keeping this number at minus 130 instead of perhaps minus 150, whereas that's probably where I think the number should be, in the minus 140, minus 150 range. Really like Johnny Vegas's ability to ball strike, keep it in the fairway, churn out birdies. I think Nick Dunlap, especially in the wind, the tough conditions, bad course fit, I think he's going to find some trouble off the tee. That should do him in here. Give me Johnny Vegas. Round 2 matchup this afternoon, minus 130 over Nick Dunlap. All right, we've got more golf picks. Andrew Oak says Horschel plus 100 over Thompson. I guess that's Davis Thompson. And let's see. Of course, Eric Cole is winning now against Patrick Rogers. Yes, David Talk. Of course that happens. I almost went back to it, but I didn't. Either way, Chip, you've also got a golf pick for us.
Yeah, like I said, big dogs only, okay? And I love this matchup. And sometimes I tell y'all, the R in ROI stands for recreation. This is just going to be an enjoyable back and forth because Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa, they are pretty friendly with each other. They're both tailor-made guys. They're both tinkerers, and they've always been peeking in each other's bag, and more on Colin's bag in a little bit. But I think we've got fantastic value here to get Colin Morikawa at a plus number in what I think is going to be a very good back and forth. He was 3rd in the field in strokes gained on approach, absolutely flushing it, and woo, boy, he needed it because you talked about only 5 of 14 fairways. Colin only hit 4 of 14 fairways, just could not find it, lost a ton of strokes off the tee. And when I think about what is repeatable, when I think about what is fluky or an outlier, his double bogey on 17, I think is something that we can attribute to some of those failures off the tee. Whereas Rory McIlroy, had a couple of bogeys after an early eagle. It was a little bit more disjointed. And so I think that what we've got is a great opportunity for Colin to be able to go out there I think it'll be one stroke either way. I think he'll be able to finish strong in a way that he was not able to yesterday. And one little thing to put it over the top. Have y'all seen Colin's bag? Woo, boy, it's hard to have FedEx swag like what Colin Morikawa's got. He's got a bag that literally is made of golf gloves on the side of it. And so as he's going through, we've got $1,000 donation to St. Jude's for every birdie or better that Colin has throughout the FedEx Cup playoffs. His wife is running in the New York City Marathon with St. Jude's as the beneficiary sponsor. Can we just go vibes here, baby? Colin's got it going in the right direction, so I like him at plus money over Rory.
Strokes gain vibes. Absolutely love that. I need to get, I'm actually looking, because Sniper, I'm going to ask you a question real quick. I'm looking to see where Aaron Rye is right now. And the reason is because him and Corey Connors, their T20 numbers before they started their round were in the plus 100 to plus 120 range, respectively. And so Rye is -1. I would look at this is just a live play right now. I just want to inform everybody, particularly Aaron Rye, who's -1. I'm guessing, I'm not looking at it right now. I'm guessing his T20 number, thanks to him being 1 under, is probably in the even money -110 market or department. I like that. I like Aaron Rye on this course. I think he was fine yesterday. I think he'll be better today. The morning conditions are going to be better than the afternoon conditions. So as far as a live play, both Corey Connors and Aaron Rye are both 1 under, decent so far. I like their top 20 numbers if they're like -120 or longer, even -125, I think would be acceptable there. All right, a lot of golf talk there. Sniper, real quick. I mentioned to you the Braves and the Angels. That's the late game tonight. You got Soriano on the mound versus Schwellenbach. I like both of these pitchers. You can get the under 4.5 at like -130 or so. Any thoughts there?
I do like the Braves side on that. Schwellenbach for the first 5. Yeah. And the Braves offense, yesterday notwithstanding, but they were facing Logan Webb, and he's been amazing since he fixed himself with his changeup. The Braves offense has been really good the last week or so, other than, again, when they face Logan Webb, and Soriano's not Logan Webb. So, yeah, I like the Braves in the first 5 there. That's a good play.
Well, fair enough. As far as the under, though, because Soriano's not Webb. Like, no, I'm glad you shared that one, too.
That I would rather go the Braves side than the under, because the Braves had a few explosions in San Francisco. Or no, just one. The under might be okay, but I more would lead toward the Braves.
Danny and Buckets, are you having like a side text conversation? Danny, I'm going to start with you. What did all of us miss?
Well, it was a prop war because Sniper brought out the big bats, right? And then Buckets rocked the nunchucks, and I couldn't just let him just go out like that. So I gloved up. Sia. And all of a sudden, the show is about to get very physical.
Oh, see, okay. Prop wars. We can incorporate this theme into future shows. So why do you have nunchucks, Buckets?
Someone sent them to the P.O. box. So I just have a pair of nunchucks. While Sniper had his one shot, I was practicing this move, and I smacked the hell out of the side of my head. So
I thought that's how you got rid of the mice.
It's unbelievable. Off the rails indeed. All right, I think we can wrap it there. Let's bring up the recap screen. I threw in a couple of live plays if y'all want to take those, the T20s on Connors and Rye, but I've got Johnny Vegas -130 over Nick Dunlap this afternoon in a round 2 head-to-head. Chip Patterson also has a round 2 matchup. Colin Morikawa +100 over Rory McIlroy. Buckets, Manchester United versus Fulham, both teams to score, and the over 2.5 goals at -130. And oh boy, Konyaspor and Galatasaray, anytime goals scored, Cardi, anytime goals scored +110. I think I kind of got that. Snipers on a roll here. Phillies -1.5. That's the run line, -130. Astros run line, -1.5 at +120. And Danny Brasco, UFC 305. Kulabao, -142. And a 2-leg parlay at -118. Nickel and Prates. And he's going to have more on the early edge at 1 o'clock. On, of course, CBS Sports Network. You're going to want to tune into that. Robert Frazier, I see your pick. Padres -1.5. Moshi, a ton of synergy with your picks and the expert picks on the show. Thank you, everybody, for being in here. Jay Metz, Liddy, Reed Phillips, Brad Morris, Cockroach. That reminds me of a different world, old school. Absolutely. Maybe that is the cockroach. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. Maybe we'll see you at 1 o'clock, but either way, we'll see you on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you always come in here at the like button, and make sure you always stay positive. Let's catch some tickets in baseball, in soccer, in UFC, and in the PGA. We're going to do it each and every day on the Early Edge. On behalf of Nada, thank you, Nada, on the ones and twos, and Sniper and Buckets and Danny Brasco and Chip Patterson and his Chip Me Up. I'm the Counselor of Cash. This is the Early Edge. Happy Friday, everybody. We rest our